Hi, I'm Maya. I'm 24 years old, looking at an old envelope with $500 bills inside. I keep it as a reminder of the day my parents chose my sister over me. I was 14 when it happened. I came home from school on a Tuesday. Mom? Dad? I called out. In here, sweetie. Mom's voice came from the living room. I walked in to find them sitting with my 11-year-old sister, Emma. Suitcases lined the hallway. What's going on? I asked. Are we going somewhere? Dad cleared his throat. Maya, sit down. We need to talk. Why are there so many suitcases? Just sit, Mom said, not meeting my eyes. I sat across from them. Emma looked down at her hands. Your father got a job opportunity in Singapore? Mom began. Okay, I said slowly. When do we leave? Dad shifted uncomfortably. The position only covers visas for a spouse and one dependent child under 12. My stomach dropped. What does that mean? It means Emma can come, but you can't, Mom said quickly. So don't take the job, I said, my voice rising. Find something else. Maya, this is a $300,000 a year position, Dad said. What about me? Where am I supposed to go? You'll stay here, Mom said. We've paid the rent through the lease, 6 months. I'm 14. I can't live alone. You're mature for your age, Dad said. And we're leaving you money. Emma spoke up. Maya, I don't want to go without you. Emma, quiet, Mom snapped. How much money? I asked, feeling numb. $500, Dad said. And there's food in the pantry. $500 for 6 months? You're resourceful. Get a part-time job. You'll figure it out. This is insane! You can't just abandon me! We're not abandoning you, Mom said defensively. We're making a difficult choice for the family's future. I'm part of this family. Don't be dramatic, Dad said. In 4 years, you'll be 18. You can join us then. If I survive 4 years alone, Mrs. Chen next door knows you're staying, Mom said. She'll check on you. You told the neighbor, but not me? We're telling you now. Our flight leaves in 3 hours. 3 hours? When were you planning to tell me? We thought it would be easier this way, Mom said. Less time for arguments. You mean less time for me to stop you? Dad stood up. This discussion is over, Maya. We've made our decision. Please don't do this, I begged, tears streaming. Please don't leave me. Emma started crying. Mom, maybe we can wait. Emma, go get in the car, Mom ordered. But Maya, now! Emma ran out, sobbing. Mom pulled an envelope from her purse. Here's the money. The landlord's number is on the fridge. Don't get into trouble. You're really doing this, I whispered. It's for the best, Dad said, grabbing suitcases. I'll never understand this. Mom touched my shoulder. I jerked away. Don't touch me. Don't ever touch me again. Maya, don't be like that. Get out. If you're leaving, then leave. They grabbed the remaining suitcases. At the door, Mom turned back. We'll call you when we're settled. Don't bother. The door closed. Through the window, I watched them drive away. Emma's face was pressed against the back window, crying. I sat there for an hour before Mrs. Chen knocked. Maya? Sweetie, can I come in? I opened the door. She was holding a casserole dish. I brought dinner. Your parents told me what happened. They actually left me. I know, honey. I told them it was wrong. What did they say? Your father said you'd be fine. Your mother said it was temporary. It's child abandonment, Mrs. Chen. I know it is. I called the police, Maya. I reported it. You did? 20 minutes ago. They're sending someone over. For the first time since my parents left, I felt something other than despair. Thank you. You're a child. What they did is criminal. Let's make sure they face consequences. Detective Morrison arrived an hour later. Maya, I'm Detective Morrison. Mrs. Chen called about your situation. My parents left me, I said simply. Can you tell me exactly what happened? I walked him through the conversation. He took notes, his jaw tightening. Do you have their contact information for Singapore? Not yet. They said they'd call when settled. Any other family nearby? My Aunt Linda lives 2 hours away. Let's call her. I dialed. Aunt Linda answered on the third ring. Maya, is everything okay? Did you know Mom and Dad were leaving the country? Silence. Then, your mother mentioned they might take a job abroad. Did she mention they were leaving me behind? What? No, she said the whole family was going. She lied. They left an hour ago. Took Emma, left me with $500. That can't be right. There's a detective here, Aunt Linda. They abandoned me. A detective? Maya, without what? Without my parents here. They're gone. Detective Morrison took the phone. Ma'am, this is Detective Morrison with the LAPD. Were you aware that your niece's parents left her alone at 14? I couldn't hear her response, but Morrison's face darkened. So you did know, and you didn't report it? Ma'am, that could make you complicit. He handed the phone back. Aunt Linda was crying. Maya, I'm so sorry. Your mother said you were staying with a friend's family. There's no friend's family. There's just me and $500. I should have checked. I should have called you. The detective says you might be in trouble too. I deserve it. Maya, I'll come get you right now. No, I need to stay here. I need evidence. Evidence for what? To make sure they pay for this. Detective Morrison nodded approvingly. After she hung up, Morrison made calls. A social worker arrived, then a child welfare attorney. The attorney's name was Sarah Chen, Mrs. Chen's daughter. Maya, I specialize in child abandonment cases, Sarah said. What your parents did is felony child endangerment. Even though they're out of the country, we can press charges. Will they go to jail? If we can extradite them, yes. But I need your help building the case. Tell me what to do. First, document everything. Second, we need evidence they planned this. Emails, texts, anything. Third, we need witnesses. Mrs. Chen spoke up. I heard them discussing it last week. They were arguing about whether to tell Maya ahead of time. What did they decide? Sarah asked. The father said to wait until the last minute. He said Maya would make a scene. Can you testify to that? Absolutely. Over the next week, I searched the apartment. I found emails between Dad and his new employer. One email from Dad read, "We'll figure out what to do with our older daughter. Worst case, she stays behind until she's 18. I found Mom's journal. The last entry made me sick. Leaving Maya is the hardest thing I'll ever do, but Emma needs this opportunity. Maya's always been independent. She'll survive. Sarah photographed everything. When my parents finally called, Detective Morrison was there with recording equipment. Maya, sweetheart, we made it safely. Mom's voice came through. You abandoned me. Don't be dramatic. How are you managing? There's a detective here, and a lawyer, and a social worker. Silence. Then Dad's voice. Maya, what did you do? What did I do? What did you do? We explained everything. This is temporary. It's child abandonment. It's a felony. You're overreacting, Mom said. We left you money and shelter. You left me $500 for 6 months. Get a job then, Dad said. Stop being so entitled. Detective Morrison leaned toward the phone. Mr. and Mrs. Torres, this is Detective Morrison, LAPD. You're being investigated for felony child endangerment and abandonment. We're out of your jurisdiction, Dad snapped. We're working with international authorities. We will pursue extradition. This is ridiculous. We're her parents. Parents don't abandon their children, Morrison said. I suggest you retain legal counsel. Maya, tell them this is a misunderstanding, Mom pleaded. It's not a misunderstanding. You chose money over me. Now you'll face the consequences. 6 months later, my parents were extradited back to California for trial. I was living with Aunt Linda by then. The confrontation happened in a courthouse conference room. Sarah said I didn't have to face them, but I wanted to. They walked in looking tired and angry. Maya, Mom started, reaching for me. Don't, I said, stepping back. Sweetie, please, we can explain. I don't want explanations. I want you to know what you did to me. Dad crossed his arms. We gave you shelter and money. You chose to involve the law. I was 14. You left me alone. You were always mature for your age, Mom said. We thought you could handle it. Handle being abandoned? Handle wondering if you were ever coming back? We called every week. You called to check if I'd died, not because you cared. Sarah placed a hand on my shoulder. Maya, you don't have to justify yourself. I want them to understand, I said. Do you know what I did after you left? I rationed that $500. I learned to shoplift because I was starving. I cried myself to sleep every night. We didn't know it would be that hard, Mom whispered. You didn't care. You got on a plane and forgot about me. That's not true, Dad said. We always planned to bring you over. When? In 4 years? I'd be 18 then. You could just wash your hands of me. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? Explain it. Make me understand how you could choose a paycheck over your daughter. Mom started crying. We thought we were securing the family's future. I'm part of this family. Or I was, until you threw me away. Maya, please, Mom begged. We made a mistake. We're sorry. We're so sorry. I don't accept your apology. You have to. We're your parents. You stopped being my parents the second you walked out that door. Dad's face reddened. Fine. You want to destroy your own family? Send us to prison? Go ahead. It gets me justice. It gets you nothing. We'll lose everything. All because you couldn't handle being alone. You had no return ticket. You had no plan to bring me back, Sarah interrupted. We found emails discussing selling the apartment and cutting off all U.S. ties. You were planning to abandon her permanently. Mom's face went white. We were just discussing options. You were discussing how to sever your parental rights, Sarah said. We wouldn't have actually. But you discussed it, I said. You sat in your Singapore apartment and discussed abandoning me forever. Maya, you're blowing this out of proportion, Dad shouted. Am I? What was I supposed to do when the 6 months ran out? When the rent was due and I had no money? We were sending more money. No, you weren't. We checked your bank records. You sent exactly $0 after leaving. Mom collapsed into a chair. We were going to. We just got busy settling in. Too busy to feed your child? Stop calling yourself a child. I was 14. Detective Morrison spoke from the corner. Mr. and Mrs. Torres? I've worked child abandonment cases for 15 years. I've never seen parents this callous. That's not fair, Mom sobbed. What's not fair is what you did to Maya. Dad turned to me. If you go through with this, we're done. You'll never be part of this family again. I haven't been part of this family since you chose Emma over me. Don't bring your sister into this. You brought her into this when you took her and left me. The visa only covered one child. So you should have found a different job. You should have kept your family together. Mom stood up. Maya, please, drop these charges. We'll make it right. We'll be a family again. I don't want to be a family with you anymore. You don't mean that. I absolutely mean it. You destroyed any chance of reconciliation. Dad's face twisted with rage. Fine. You want war? We'll fight this and destroy you in court. Try it, I said calmly. I have evidence, witnesses, and the law on my side. You have nothing! He lunged toward me. Detective Morrison stepped between us. Mr. Torres, step back. She's ruining our lives. Step back now or I'll add assault to your charges. Dad's fist was raised. Morrison grabbed his wrist. I said step back, Mom screamed. Don't hurt him. He's assaulting a minor, Morrison said, forcing Dad against the wall. Another officer rushed in. Dad was restrained, shouting threats. You'll regret this, Maya. I'm not destroying anything, I said quietly. You already did that. The trial lasted 3 weeks. I testified about the abandonment, the hunger, the fear. Aunt Linda testified. Mrs. Chen testified. Sarah presented emails, bank records, and journal entries. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Guilty on all counts: felony child endangerment, child abandonment, and assault. Dad got 3 years in prison. Mom got 2. They were ordered to pay restitution. Their parental rights were terminated. After sentencing, they requested one final meeting. They'll try to manipulate you, Sarah warned. I know, but I need to hear what they have to say. In the visiting room, my parents looked broken. Maya, Mom began. "We just want to say, if this is another apology, save it. Please, just listen. We know we can't undo what we did, but we want you to know that we do love you. Love doesn't abandon people. We made a terrible choice," Dad said. "We got blinded by money. We convinced ourselves you'd be fine. We were wrong. You were worse than wrong. You were cruel. We know. And we'll spend every day of our sentence thinking about it." "Good. Emma asks about you constantly," Mom said. "She wants to see you. Is she okay?" "She's with Aunt Linda now. She's struggling." "That's not my responsibility. She's your sister. She loves you. She didn't want to leave you." "Then she should have refused to go." "She was 11. She didn't have a choice." "And I did?" Mom flinched. "No, you're right. None of this was fair." Dad leaned forward. "Maya, we're not asking for forgiveness. We're asking for a chance to make amends someday. When we get out, can we try to rebuild something?" "No. Please." "You don't get to rebuild what you destroyed. You don't get to walk back into my life. You lost that right." "We're still your parents," Mom said desperately. "Biologically, maybe. But in every way that matters, you stopped being my parents 2 years ago." "What about Emma? Will you shut her out too?" "Emma and I will figure out our relationship without you. She's innocent. But you two? We're done." "Forever?" Dad asked. "Forever." Mom broke down sobbing. "Please, Maya. Please don't do this. You did this. You made every choice that led us here. Now live with it." I stood to leave. Dad grabbed my hand. "Wait, there has to be something we can do." I pulled away. "There isn't. Goodbye." "Maya!" Mom screamed as I walked out. "Maya, please." I didn't look back. Now, 5 years later, I'm 24 and thriving. Aunt Linda helped me through high school. I got a full scholarship to college. I'm working as a social worker, helping kids in situations like mine. Emma and I rebuilt our relationship slowly. She understands what our parents did. My parents sent letters from prison. I burned them all unread. They're out now, living in Oregon. They tried to contact me once. I told Emma to tell them I'd get a restraining order. Some people tell me I should forgive them, but this isn't anger. It's boundaries. It's self-respect. It's knowing that some betrayals are unforgivable. My parents chose money over me. They deserve every consequence, and they don't deserve a place in my life. I keep that envelope with $500 as a reminder. I survived the worst betrayal possible, and I came out stronger. What would you do if your parents abandoned you? Have you ever faced an unforgivable betrayal? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more true stories of survival and justice.